Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so now we are going to go ahead and do the link partners and team building guide for the new INT hit that is releasing tomorrow with the Golden Week dual Dokkan Fest banners. I've already done the one for Goku, so do go check that out if you have not seen it already. Even if you're not planning to summon for Goku, we talk about his link partners and the teams that he could be run on. Obviously, there are some mentions of teams where you could run him as a friend if you want to try him out, if you're not going to summon for him. So do go check that out, and we will be doing the same thing here for the INT hit. Now, I feel like more people are probably likely to be summoning for hit. He definitely seems like the better of the two. People already having discussions about him potentially being the new best TUR, or at least up there at the top, towards the top of the list, which is not really the same that's being said about the Goku, right? So we'll go over his links, his team part, like his best partners, his best team builds, who else gives him 200% leads, all that good stuff in the video here now. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we will jump straight in. So Hit is one of these characters where he does have this kind of unique link set which doesn't work super well with tons of other characters. It's the one thing that is good about the Goku, right, is that he does have a really solid link set. Now, Hit does have some good links, but his full link set, as you can see, is Supreme Warrior, Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, Infighter, Shocking Speed, Warriors of Universe 6, and Fierce Battle. So when it comes to like splashing him around into other teams, things like Cold Judgment and Experienced Fighters are pretty good. Obviously, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle are pretty common. Infighter you do see dotted around here and there. Obviously, stuff like Warriors of Universe 6 is just going to be very specific to the Universe 6 team, but that is only a key link. Obviously at level 10 it does give a little bit of stats, but you're not missing out on a huge amount if you're not getting that link active with him. Obviously his only key links are Shocking Speed and Supreme Warrior outside of linking with other Warriors of Universe 6 characters, right? So that is something to bear in mind when it comes to sorting out link partners for him. Obviously at level 10 even his key links are giving some extra stats as well. Shocking Speed giving a little bit of extra defense. Cold Judgment, of course, 25% defense at level 10, so a very good link to have active. Experienced Fighters 15% attack is really nice as well. When it comes to his categories, we can see obviously he's on Universe 6, he's on Rapid Growth, he's on Accelerated Battle, Tournament Participants, of course, Super Bosses, Space Traveling Warriors, and Legendary Existence. So he's on a few decent categories. Obviously Accelerated Battle is a category that just constantly keeps getting buffed. Glorio lead, like Glorio team is still probably one of the best teams in the game that isn't like the LR Fusions, right? Just because of the number of units that are on there and the amount of support that Glorio gives to everyone on the team. But of course Hit himself is an Accelerated Battle leader, because remember Hit's leader skill is Universe 6, Rapid Growth, or Accelerated Battle for the 3 key, 200% HP, and then 170 attack and defense, and then he gives 50% extra to tournament participants or super bosses. So he does have a pretty good leader skill for like tournament participant sort of teams, because characters like Cell, obviously his leader skill is like the other way around, right? He had tournament participants and then Accelerated Battle, so they would fit well together. Rapid Growth, obviously Universe 6 covers all of like the Kale and Cauliflas and stuff anyway, but a lot of characters that are on Rapid Growth and then potentially tournament participants or Accelerated Battle and tournament participants are all going to get the full leader skill from this guy. And remember, he does get, as part of his base kit, he does get 2 key. So we're already starting off, like, it's not like if you don't have any of the key links active with him, it's going to be necessarily a huge issue. And then of course he does have the when he transforms into the like improvement status, he then has 3 key, so we don't have to worry too much about the links. Obviously, like I say, Warner of Universe 6 is very specific, but even if you're running him on a team where you don't have a lot of Shocking Speed characters, Supreme Warrior is not very common either. So in worst case scenario, he's going to need 4 and then 3 key to super if he's got no key links active, which, unless you get very unlucky, shouldn't be too much of an issue. So when we look at his best link partners, now obviously he can link with himself after the improvement buff, because his link set doesn't change, but of course it counts as a transformation, so then he can link with other units that are still named Hit. So that's obviously his best link partner, but realistically if you're running double hit leads, you're probably just keeping one on each rotation. I mean, there's no reason not to transform hit when you can, because he just is better in every way, right? So keeping one untransformed and having them on a rotation together doesn't really give you a huge amount of benefit. So kind of need to disregard, I guess, him having this 7 link partner. But if it does come in handy at some point, especially in events with like rotation locking and something like that, bear in mind that that is an option. If you get a little bit further into the event, and then because of rotation locking, you've ended up with both hits on the same rotation, you can always transform one, keep the other one untransformed. Obviously, if you want to set up the rotations or like reset the rotations, get one floated off, have one in the middle, and then they're going to have all their links active. Now, no 6 link partners, but you can see when we go to 5 links, now this is where it's a little bit interesting, because he shares 5 links with the LR Pycon, right? They share Supreme Warrior, Experienced Fighter, Shocking Speed, Cold Judgment, and Fierce Battle. So not only are they sharing the 2 of his key links, which means he will just be auto-supering at this point. Cold Judgment is obviously giving a lot of defense. He's getting, what, 30% defense, and then 45% attack from these links, as well as 4 key. So that is really good. And obviously LR Pycon does have the ability to buff tournament participants' allies, which is the only category that they share. But that's the only issue, is that because that's the only category that they share, it means Pycon isn't on the leader skill for hit. So on teams where you can end up with them both on the same team, right? So for example, the Glorio team, as we've already mentioned, because Glorio leads Accelerated Battle, which means Hit would be on there, and then Battle of Wits, which means Pycon would be on there. So these guys could be a nice little combo. They share a lot of links, and then obviously Pycon giving that support. Pycon also has the thing where when you have him in slot 2 for the first time, once only, he gives the tournament participants' allies 10% damage reduction, which would apply to Hit. So that would actually be quite useful as well. So they link pretty well, and obviously the normal Pycon is in there because they have a very similar link set, right? It's only legendary power really that is the major difference between the two, and Hit's not an LR, so he shares 5 links with the TUR. The TUR not as useful to run with Hit though, because he only supports Superclass, which Hit is not. And then Connected Hope and is it Saviors for his extra 30%, which Hit's not on either of those either. So he would still be giving him good links. I mean, on a certain team build, it would still be worth having Pycon on that team and Hit, like say the Glorio team, because Pycon will be buffing all the other characters that you're potentially running. But the LR Pycon definitely the better partner for the LR Hit because of the extra bits of support. Now, of course, we can also see 5 links, the LR God Goku and Hit. These guys, of course, I mentioned yesterday in the video I made about the potential easy A's for the celebration. I would be very surprised if these guys have an easy aid by the time we get to the end of this Golden Week celebration, because the dual Dokkan Fest is literally Goku and Hit. Like, what other celebration are we going to get that is a better time for them to easy A the LR that is literally Goku and Hit together, right? So these guys, I very much believe, will get an easy A by the end of the celebration. They are on the full leader skill for Hit, because obviously they are on Accelerated Battle and they are on tournament participants. So if these guys get a good easy A, that's going to be really good. They have Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, In-Fighter, Shocking Speed, and Fierce Battle. So again, we get 2 key, which means worst case scenario, Hit's only going to need 2 key if he's in the pre-improvement phase. And then we get a whole bunch of attack, a whole bunch of defense, the little enemy defense debuff, which isn't really super important. But yeah, if these guys get a really good easy A, that rotation is going to be very, very good. So then we drop down to 4 links, and we see a lot of characters here who obviously can go on a lot of the same sort of teams. LR Jiren, obviously things like tournament participants, they share 4 links. The LR Ultimate Gohan is an interesting one. I don't think they share a lot of teams. Yeah, they're on Rapid Growth, so I guess technically that means that Gohan is on Hit's like base leader skill, but not on the full 220. LR Jiren, obviously the tech one, but he's not that great anymore, right? He's kind of already aged out with the anniversary power creep. Tech Gohan, once he transforms, there are some teams that they would be on. They don't share a lot of categories outside of Rapid Growth, but again, things like the Glorio team, obviously Gohan's on demonic power. We also have the Physical Piccolo, STR Pycon. And then that's kind of it in terms of meta relevant for link partners. Like LR Jiren is probably the main one, but everybody else on here is kind of I did mention it again in the Easy A's video, but this STR, Gohan, and Golden Frieza, they're a banner unit from the 6th anniversary. So obviously they're like over 4 years old at this point. Dokkan, we know, has been kind of slacking when it comes to banner unit Easy A's, like sub Easy A's. But these guys getting an Easy A during this celebration would be pretty good. And then they share Cold Judgment, Infighter, Shocking Speed, and Fierce Battle. So there's that little bit of key, nice a bit of attack, and Cold Judgment for the defense as well. So if these guys end up being like a good floating support unit for the new setups for these tournament participant teams, then these guys linking with Hit will obviously be very helpful as well. Then we drop down to 3 links, and obviously this is where it gets a bit more diverse, because of course once you get to 3 links, like every unit that has Fierce Battle and then like any 2 other links, especially considering Shocking Speed as a key link, there's going to be quite a lot of options here. Glorio is there, so obviously for the double Glorio leads, we're going to have Glorio floating in slot 3. He does share 3 links with Hit, including Cold Judgment. So a lot of these Cold Judgment partners are going to be really, really good for Hit, because remember, he's a stacker, and he does stack very quickly, especially once he's in the improvement form. So getting that extra 25% defense is just going to make those stacks even more effective, like within the turn, right? So Glorio definitely going to be very good. Interestingly, Tapion and Minosha, one day when they get an Easy A, they could be very good, because they do have that good like active skill for supporting allies. The Goku and Frieza, obviously another tournament participants character. The Goku version, they share 3 links, that could be interesting. Beast Gohan, again for like the Glorio team, that could be an interesting combo. The Broly trio is kind of funny, because obviously they support super bosses. So if they've got 24 key, they'll be giving Hit an extra 10% damage reduction and can potentially give him a lot of support, which could be useful because Hit doesn't really need a lot of key, right? He's a TUR, and then especially with the support from the Broly trio, he's only potentially going to need like 1 orb to super, which then helps you set up like the trio getting, like being able to get their 7 orbs. But obviously, if they're not getting 7 orbs, they are pretty much aged out of the meta at this point. Like, as long as the boss doesn't disable dodge, you can use these guys, and as long as you're getting 7 orbs, you should be fine. Then he shares 3 links with both of the banner units, the Magetta and the Piccolo, but, you know, those units are trash. Like, I don't know if I'll even do showcase videos for them. Let me know what you guys think, but they are absolutely terrible. So yeah, we have Topo and Dispo. So again, for like a tournament participants, TOP kind of team mix sort of thing, those guys could be kind of useful. Hearts is getting an Easy A this year, which could be interesting, but it's probably not going to be until November that we see the heroes at Easy A's. Gamma 1 and 2 are probably not far off an Easy A, and he links pretty well with Gamma 1, but do they share any teams? Or yeah, Accelerated Battle. Accelerated Battle is actually becoming such a crazy category. Like, I remember when it first came out, it kind of sucked, but now there are so many characters on there. And we have that Glorio setup, or of course now the Hit leader. Also, this Heart Virus Goku could be an absolutely insane Easy A, solid slot 1 tank, but he's the banner unit for the AGL Dokkan Fest Trunks, who doesn't have an Easy A yet, so who knows what will happen with him. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of the 3 link partners, and then 2 links, obviously it's going to be literally everyone that has Fierce Battle and then 1 other link with him. So he shares 2 links with the 10-year fusions, and of course they would be on his team because of Accelerated Battle, just not on the full 200% leader skill. So he's got some pretty solid link partners, although some of them not necessarily in the best spot right now or don't fit on his team, right? LR God Goku and Hit Easy A is going to be pivotal for this guy getting a really, really good partner for his team. And then when we take a look at his actual 200% leads, it was funny because we mentioned yesterday how Goku has so many, and I said in that video, very often when I've made these like guides, I've gone to here, clicked on the 200% leads, and there's like 4 units or something, and Hit literally only has 3. So he's on the full 220 lead for Cell, because obviously he's on tournament participants and then Accelerated Battle, and then he gets the 200% leader skill from Topo and the 200% leader skill from Physical Rose, because obviously he is a Super Bosses character. Now realistically, Super Bosses is in the mud, like Physical Rose himself isn't even really that great in the current meta, and he's probably one of the better Super Bosses characters. AGL Broly can still put out some numbers, but his defense isn't great. And even Topo has kind of aged at this point. I mean, some of these other characters getting buffs who are on his team can be quite helpful. And then Cell, of course, is the last, like, most recent Dokkan Fest, who people not particularly overjoyed with, right? He's kind of I'm not a huge fan of him, but And I mean, they're not going to link super well either, but I guess it's an interesting buff for his team. So that's the interesting thing. When it comes to Hit and Goku, Hit doesn't have as great of a link set, doesn't have as many really good link partners, and isn't on as many teams. But still, despite all of that, is probably considerably better overall as a unit than the Blue Kaioken Goku. So definitely an interesting spot for these two Golden Week TURs. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I do think for Hit, the best team build is going to be, like, it'll be interesting to make a good team with his leader skill. But honestly, I do think one of the best and one of the most fun teams for him is going to be Glorio's team, which, as I say, is a team that I constantly talk about, constantly make videos about. It's a great team. The only thing he really misses out on is when all allies in the same turn are Universe 6, he gets a Scouter, but that's it, right? That's not a make or break for this Hit whatsoever, like him not getting the Scouter ability. Whereas Goku, like I saw someone say in the stream today, is like a glass cannon without the cannon, right? The whole point of the unit is he's just supposed to do damage, but he doesn't have great defense. And not only is his damage not that spectacular, if you don't have a full reps of Universe 7 rotation, he does even less damage. Whereas here, it doesn't really matter that much if you're not getting the full Universe 6 setup. So definitely going to be interesting to try out some team builds with him. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you going to summon for Hit? What team setups are you looking forward to running him with? I mean, obviously, double Glorio leads is the best for, like, the extra support. But if you don't pull Hit or you don't summon for him, running one Glorio and then the Hit as a friend and running an accelerated battle team could definitely be very interesting. But obviously you then only have the one Glorio, so you don't have the constant, like, 3-turn double support. But even so, that team could be very interesting. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And yeah, let's hold out hope that this LR Hit and God Goku get a really good EZA, because that's going to be such a massive buff for this new Hit. But I guess we will see how it goes. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.